Good to see you bright and early, Essie.
Morning, Kate. Always a good idea to be punctual at work, isn't it?
Well, perhaps not in every workplace. I've never known a customer to drop in here earlier than, say, 10:30 in the morning. But I do like to get in early enough to have my cup of tea, be prepared for when that first customer does drop by.
I usually make a Toslow run in the morning. Do you want me to pick up a tea for you tomorrow?
Oh, that's a very kind offer, but no, I just enjoy the ritual, I suppose. Come in, fill the kettle, turn it on, choose a tea bag from my little stash. What do I feel like today? English breakfast? No, today is an Earl Grey kind of day, I think. Boil the kettle, let the tea steep. It's all part of the process of starting the day.
If you say so.
I think one appreciates these little touches more as one gets older. I remember being in a rush to get things done when I was young. Oh, there's the kettle boiled now.
Yeah, I'm sure you were a regular Usain Bolt back in the day.
What's that, dear?
Nothing. Is it okay if I head upstairs? I want to take a look up on the 3rd floor, working my way up a floor at a time, trying to get familiar with what's up there.
A good plan. Fortunately, we've had a few quiet days since you started.
I'm grateful for any day not spent chasing fairies around a city park.
Hello. Is this, these yellow and blue mittens in the window are lovely. I wanted to take a closer look.
Certainly. Aren't they lovely? I chose the wool to support our Ukrainian friends. The flag colors, they've been quite popular.
Do you have a matching hat and scarf? I'd love to get the whole set.
Sorry, no, just mittens.
Oh, that's too bad. These ones with the snowflake design, is there a hat to match those?
No, I'm afraid it's mittens all the way down.
Oh, I'll get both pairs, the blue and yellow ones and the snowflakes. You can't have too many mittens in Newfoundland winter, can you?
That's what I've always said. $10 even for the 2 pairs.
Not that it's anywhere even near winter yet. I do think it's been cooling off faster these last few evenings, hasn't it though? Do you take debit?
Sorry, cash only.
Okay, here we go. $5 bill and 5 loonies. I've heard you can always rely on the old furs and whites.
Ah, to render assistance in all your bad plights?
Yes, that's it.
Well, if you have any kind of plight, I can help. You didn't have to buy the mittens,
I don't mind. They're really lovely. It's just that...
Tell me all about it up in the library. Follow me back here.
Oh, you have another customer. I can wait in.
No, that's all right. You go on through and up those stairs. My assistant librarian is up there. I'm sure she can... anyway, I'll come back in just a minute. Hello, Mr. Carson. It's been a while since you've been in here.
Well, now, Miss McGregor, I got enough mittens to last me till I dies, so there hasn't been much call to drop by.
Then it must be something else that brings you by today.
It is, miss, that it is. Something queer I seen. Something wonderful queer.
Ooh, then you ought to come through to the library and tell us all about it.
Tell us, is it? Have you got yourself another apprentice after all this time?
Oh, I believe assistant... no, it's associate. Yes, the public libraries have sent me a new associate. I'm sure she'll be interested in whatever you have to say.
Have I got to give you the password?
Oh, I think by now you're what we call a regular patron here at the downtown library.
It's not my fault queer stuff keeps happening to me.
So I think if you've got unwanted fairies in your house, you can get them to change form so they can be trapped and safely transported somewhere else?
I don't want to trap and transport fairies. I want my Brayden back.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand.
Brayden, my little girl, who was taken by fairies.
Excuse me, your daughter was fairy-led and they left a changeling in her place?
Yes, finally someone who understands.
Okay, rude.
I was told to come here that this secret library behind a craft shop and a woman who deals with magical things, fairies and curses and all that.
All right, let's just have the story from the beginning. What happened to your poor little girl?
Well, we were up at our cabin on the Witless Bay line, doing a bit of work, so I suppose my husband and I were a bit distracted, so we didn't notice at first when Brayden wandered off the deck. Then, when we did see that she was gone, of course we started looking all over for her, calling, and no sign of her. We trekked all over, called the neighbors, got a whole crew of people searching. Then, just before dark, Brayden just toddled into the driveway like she'd never been away.
I think I heard this on the news, missing child on the Witless Bay Barrens a couple weeks ago.
Yes, but she hasn't been like herself at all. She doesn't laugh anymore or cry or talk to us at all since it's happened. It's been 2 weeks and she's like a different youngster. Just silent, staring off in space. We brought her to the doctor and she said it most likely was just shock. Nan said it looked to her like Brayden was taken by the fairies and a changeling put in her place.
And she never had any protection? No bread in her pockets, nothing on inside out, anything like that?
No, we never thought of it.
Of course not. Most people today think that's only an old superstition.
But it's not? Fairies and changelings, they're real?
Oh, very much so. Less common, of course, than they used to be, but I think that's mainly because children are seldom allowed to wander in the woods or out on the barrens without adult supervision.
But Nan said, she said terrible things about how to get rid of the changeling and get your own baby back. She said you'd have to beat it as hard as you could, or put it in scalding water, something like that, so when it screamed, the fairies would hear and come get it, and put the real child back in its place.
Essie, my love, would you go get me a book? It's down there on that third stack. Bottom shelf, under the B, dark green cover.
I'll need the catalog number.
I don't know that off the top of my head now. I just know where the book is and what it looks like. Now, you see, Liz Party, the old wives' tales do have a lot about those kind of remedies for changelings, but I wouldn't recommend any of those.
I would hope not.
Thanks. That's the very book I had in mind. Now, this is the part I was thinking of. Another means is to trick the changeling that it might reveal its true nature and thus be banished from the human household. You see, far better to trick them than to beat them.
I couldn't anyways. I mean, even if it is a changeling, it looks just like...
Of course, I don't blame you a bit. No, I think trickery is the way to go. You must do something very startling, very unusual in front of the changeling. The idea is that you can startle it into revealing its true name. So in this case here, the one in the book, the mother cracked some eggs, threw the yolks and whites away, and tossed the eggshells into the soup she was making. And the changeling cried out, "Why, I, Tatiana Jade McGillicuddy, have never seen such a sight, not in all my 563 years. And it says, straight upon the moment, the changeling vanished, and in its place was the true-born child that said, 'Oh, mother, how glad I am to be home!' And the child flew to the mother's arms, and all was well."
Oh, if only I could hold my Brayden again and be sure she was my own little girl.
Now, Miss Party, I'm sure you will, once the changeling is banished from your house. All you have to do is something that will startle it.
I don't know about eggshells in the soup. I'm not much of a cook.
Well, something else. It doesn't have to involve eggs. Just surprise. You could dance around with some underwear on your head.
Or turn all your furniture upside down.
Or bring a goat into the house, supposing you knows anyone got a goat.
And, would you just hand me that box there, Essie? Just you take this, Miss Party, and if you can put it around the changeling's neck, should they let you get that close, or if not, keep it as near the thing as you possibly can.
An iron cross?
Yes, they can't abide the presence of iron, so just having that nearby will put the creature ill at ease. You take that and go on now, and here's my card with the library number on it. Call me as soon as you've done it, and let me know if the trickery worked.
And we'll all be very much hoping you get your little Brenda back again, right as rain.
Brayden.
I can't keep track of all these names they give the youngsters.
If the changeling's 563 years old, could be a Brenda.
And if this doesn't work?
You'll come straight back here, we'll have a look through the books, and we'll find something else that might work. Don't you worry, Miss Party. Fairies are cunning, but they're not invincible.
Oh, I hope you're right.
Never doubt the library.
Do you really think that...
Time for questions and analysis of our methods later, Essie. I should introduce you to Mr. Carson, longtime library patron and finder of odd phenomena.
It's not like I goes looking for things. Not like one of those fellas goes off in the woods trying to find Bigfoot or whatever. Things just seems to happen to me like.
And what has happened to bring you here today, Mr. Carson?
Well, now, 'twas an odd thing indeed. I was out working on my boat this morning, my place down Quidi Vidi, Gutsy. I sees something on a rock out on the water. I thought it was a seal or something, which would have been strange enough this time of the year. But when I got closer, it looked like a person. And I thought, sure, there's not somebody out there stranded on a rock, is there? Youngsters out lurking around, I thought. But how would they even have got out there? No sign of a boat or anything around.
Looked like a seal at first and then like a person? Well, I can guess what that was.
I'm sure you can, missus, because you're used to strange sights, and so am I. But what do you think, young lady? What do you figure it was?
Well, if this was a story, I suppose I would say.
But you say it is a story. Just 'cause it's true don't make it any less of a story. Anyway, I was just thinking I might take the boat out, see if I could get closer when the thing, or the person, whatever it might be, jumped off the rock and into the ocean. After a bit of head bopped up, true as I'm standing there now was the head of a woman with long tangly hair that looked almost like seaweed, swimming around in the water like the cold of it didn't touch her at all, just like...
A mermaid.
Mermaids. In Quidi Vidi?
Just a one. You ever seen one?
Only once, and a long time ago, and not anywhere near town. Off Fogo Island, this one was. I knew a Selkie, though.
Did you now? When she was in her human form?
Oh, yes. Her name was Margaret, and she was married to a fisherman down on the southern shore. This was, 30 years ago or more? Before I came to work for the library.
Selkies? You mean, like, seal people?
Exactly. You know the tales about them, don't you?
Yeah, they're like shapeshifters, right? Seals who can take human form, usually women. Some places they're called seal wives, and they live on land like humans for a while.
But they go back to the sea in the end, like Margaret did.
I've heard tales like that too, but never known there was any here in Newfoundland. Mermaids now. Heard plenty of tales about them growing up.
Oh, yes. They're far more plentiful than Selkies around here.
There is a lot of overlap in the folklore, though, isn't there? They're both kind of beautiful women/sea creatures. They can take human form and human lovers, that kind of thing.
There's definitely some confusion, although I've never heard of a mermaid living on land like a Selkie. Anyway, time for a little field work. If this mermaid is hanging around Quidi Vidi and coming up to people on shore, I want to see what she's up to.
She looked like she wanted to talk, I'll tell you that much. Opened her mouth a few times like she was trying to, but no sound came out. Then she dived back under the water.
Did you tell anyone else? Any of the neighbors?
No, not a word to no one, not even the missus. I came straight here.
That's good. We don't want half of St. John's down in Quidi Vidi, streets lined off with cars and everyone with their phones out trying to get a mermaid on video. That'll scare her off for sure. We'll close up for a little while. Well, it seems nobody else has seen the mermaid. It's still quiet down here, so word hasn't gotten out.
I'll go down and get the boat ready in case we want to go out on the water to see can we spot her.
Kate, are we sure there's anything down there? We're just taking this guy's word for it after all.
Oh, I've known Mr. Carson for many years, and he's never shown a hint of being delusional. He's seen and spoken to ghosts, fairies, and even once a unicorn.
Oh, well, glad to hear he's never been delusional.
You still have your doubts, even after the fairies?
I know that the fairies happened, but this could just be a wild goose chase. Surely not every person who claims to see a ghost or a fairy or a mermaid actually does.
You'd be surprised.
That's just so overwhelming. The whole island is like wall-to-wall folklore. Do you really just chase down every little thing?
We help those who need it, Essie. Most of the time, the mundane and magical realms coexist in harmony, or at least ignorance. But if someone comes to our door asking for help, it's better to be open-minded and offer our assistance than to be overly critical and turn away someone in need.
Like Ms. Party, who thinks her little girl is a changeling.
Precisely. Oh, look! Is that something over there? About 40 feet out from shore?
Yeah, it's a Sobeys bag floating on the water.
A plastic Sobeys bag? Well, that's almost as rare as a mermaid these days.
Very funny.
You've heard of Richard Whitburn, haven't you?
Yeah, he was one of the English fishing captains who came here in like the 1600s or something, right? One of the first English colonizers to write about Newfoundland.
That's right. And a lot of what we know, or think we know about early 17th century Newfoundland, we know because of what Richard Whitburn wrote.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
About Whitburn writing a really detailed description of seeing a mermaid in St. John's Harbor. He even described her trying to clamber up into someone's boat, yeah?
The first recorded mention of a mermaid in Newfoundland waters.
Yeah, but he didn't actually see a mermaid, right? It must have been a seal or something, and because he came from a culture that believed in mermaids, he interpreted it as a mermaid.
Or because you come from a culture where you don't believe in mermaids, you interpret it as a seal. I mean, why accept Whitburn as an authority on the geography, flora, fauna, and human history of the place, yet discount him when he describes a mermaid that he clearly saw with his own eyes?
Look, is that it? Is that
what?
Is that anything?
I didn't see it. These damn progressive lenses.
I saw something, like a ripple, and then it was like something just broke through the surface for a minute. There it is again. Did you see
Where?
that? Right there. Oh.
All right, ladies, ready to hop aboard the Jackie Sue and see if we can find the mermaid?
I don't think we'll have to go far. I'm pretty sure I just saw it offshore, just there. There it is again. It really does look like someone's head. I mean, sort of. Don't you see it?
I see it now.
I'd say she's swimming toward us.
I may be able to lure her over. Just a minute.
Are those real pearls? Are you trying to lure her in with your jewelry? Is she a magpie?
They're drawn to them. Mermaids to pearls, I mean. Oh, and take this. Flash it in her direction. They can't resist mirrors either. At least that's what the book says.
I don't know if it's the pearls or the mirror, but it's working. Look, she's coming straight for us. I'm going to cut the engine so we don't go past her.
Hello? Greetings. Hail.
That's a woman, right? That's just a woman swimming?
Look at that tail.
Still think it's a human swimmer with incredible tolerance for cold water, Essie?
I think she heard you call out hello, but they don't speak human language, do they?
Well, it really depends on what sources you read. Most folk tales have mermaids silent, but there are some...
Yeah, some legends have them talking to humans, and don't they sing like sirens in Homer?
Hello? Hello?
Who is it that calls to me from the creatures of the land?
Hello, I saw you this morning. Remember me? Name's Carson.
My name is Kate. I am a mistress of lore and a keeper of ancient secrets.
Essie Clark. Pleased to meet you.
You give your names very freely. I do not give mine, but I am of this place, and I have been a long time on these shores.
We would not presume to ask your true name, but is there a name we can call you by, or do you wish to be known only as Mermaid?
That is your word for our kind. It is not our word. You may call me Aurora. My sisters and I have lived 1,000 years in these waters and seen your people come and go.
We are honored to meet you, Aurora.
Honor. Your kind know nothing of the word. Your people have done great wrong to me and my sisters. But I have a task that may only be accomplished by one who walks upon the land, and thence I cannot go.
What is the task?
Long ago, years as your people reckon time, though but a blink in the eye as we measure it, I and 9 of my sisters were captured from the ocean and taken prisoner. An evil enchanter among your people knew a charm to capture a sea woman and hold her spirit captive while draining her power from her. This enchanter was cunning. He turned our bodies not to stone, but to some substance hard and unyielding as stone. Then he commissioned artists to paint our bodies like sculptures, displaying them for his own grandeur and profit while feeding off the power he had drained from us to make himself great.
10 trapped mermaids? Here in St. John's?
The mermaid statues, don't you remember them?
Oh, those ones they had up all over downtown one summer. Sure, that was ages ago.
I was only a little kid, but I remember my grandparents taking us all around downtown to see the mermaid statues. I was obsessed with mermaids that whole summer. They were all painted in different styles and out in front of different businesses. They were great fun public art.
They were hideous monuments to our brutal imprisonment.
Well, things do look different when we see them from the perspective of an oppressed community.
Are mermaids oppressed? Does it count as oppression if people just don't know you exist?
There is a charm, a talisman that gives this man power over us. On most of us, the binding was weak, and in time we were able to regain our living forms and return to the sea. But for many years, we who were once 10 goddesses of the waves have been 9. We believed our 10th sister Ursula dead, lost to us forever. But only lately have we learned that her image is still standing, and there is a chance that she might be quickened and set free.
What would you have us do to help her?
You're not volunteering us to liberate a mermaid statue.
To liberate a mermaid? Of course I am. Wouldn't you do that for any creature held in such a terrible captivity?
I cannot go on land, nor do I know where to find the place where my sister is held. But if I could bind a human to do my will, you would be rewarded richly should you bring Ursula back here to me.
Supposing we do set her free, we gotta transport her back here? And I suppose she gotta be kept in water the whole trip.
Of course. If she is in her true and living form, she cannot live outside the water for any length of time. None of us can. Will you take this charge and find and free my sister?
You need promise no reward. We will do what we can to help return her to her home, but we do not know where to seek her, nor how to set her free.
Oh, I know right where she is, don't you?
No, where is she?
The last mermaid is still on display outside the Newfoundland Chocolate Company on Torbay Road. I've seen it there tons of times. I always wondered where the others went to.
Well, now we know.
What we don't know is how to set her free. What is this charm of which you speak, Aurora?
It is a charm of words to be said over her, but I know not how to say it in your tongue, only in ours. One of our mothers told it to one of your poets long ago, but your words are lost to us.
This evil enchanter you spoke of, did he know the charm?
He knew a spell to bind a mermaid. The spell you must use is the one to set her free. Find my sister, find the words that will free her, and bring her to me.
That's not enough information! Come back here!
I don't think she's coming back up.
Well, at least we know where the other mermaid is.
Yes, but we don't know how to set her free, do we? If the spell or the charm is in mermaid language, then how are we supposed to use it? How can we steal the mermaid statue without being seen? How do we get her to Quidi Vidi from Torbay Road?
I'll have to bring the pickup. I don't say she'll have to be fully immersed in water, just enough to keep the tail wet, like... We got a kiddie pool that the missus uses in summer to keep the dogs cool. I can put that in the bed of the pickup with a bit of water in it. Should be enough to keep her damp till we get her down here. Only about a 15-minute drive if traffic's light.
Mr. Carson, if you can drop us back at the library, I have some research to do. I'll call you later this evening to discuss transportation for tomorrow, though I do think the wading pool in the back of the truck is a good idea. I know you have a lot of questions.
I'd be thrilled if I could form a coherent question. And this morning, I tried putting what I learned about the fairies to use, but apparently that was completely wrong. So what do I know? Nothing. That's what.
Every job has a learning curve. At least your first week has been quite diverse. Can you pass me that mail there on the mat, please?
Sure. What kind of mail does the secret magical downtown library get?
None at this address. We have a P.O. box for that. Anything I get here is for the shop. More notices from the city about some kind of zoning foolishness, it looks like.
Letters from the city about zoning seem like they could be important.
It'll just be another billionaire developer wanting to rezone for his business downtown. There's always something. I haven't got time to be going to every public meeting. Still, my friend Mozzie was telling me the other day I should be paying more attention to what Brett Crummy wants to do on Water Street. Whoever Brett Crummy is.
You should probably look into that.
As soon as I find the time. Oh, keep the close sign on the shop door. We've got work to do in the library.
So, in the effort of professional development, what did I do wrong this morning with Miss Party? I was thinking about how you captured the fairy in my bathroom. Not that I know exactly how you did it.
Understandable mistake for a beginner. I've long suspected that urban sprites like the ones in Fiona's garden are a different subspecies from the truly wild nature spirits that live in the woods and barrens, the ones Mrs. Party's little Brandy encountered.
Brayden.
If what came back to the party's cabin was truly a fairy changeling, it would require quite a different procedure from the one I used to trap a fairy in a shampoo bottle.
I've always assumed that the changeling stories were triggered by people who got lost and came back sometime later traumatized, in shock, maybe suffering from PTSD.
That's certainly one good theory, and it has the value of being true in some cases. And of course I assume you're familiar with the theory that stories of changeling children are related to children who are different, perhaps with a developmental delay or what today we'd identify as being on the autism spectrum. Parents in earlier times would notice that their child's behavior was different from that of other children and attribute it to them having been taken by the fairies and replaced by a changeling.
So all of those awful remedies Miss Party's Nan suggested?
Beating the changeling with sticks or plunging it in scalding water? Sadly, yes. I'm sure some of those were used over the years on real innocent children who were simply behaving differently or had been through a traumatic experience. That's one reason I recommend the non-invasive methods. If it's not actually a changeling, there's no harm in startling it. Now, if you'll just take these 4 books over to the desk there, there's one more I must look for.
Hans Christian Andersen? The Little Mermaid?
Yes, before Disney got their hands on it. Even though Andersen's story is relatively recent as legends go, it's the basis for so many of our beliefs about who mermaids are and how they operate. The way he depicted the mermaids has always made me wonder if he had insider knowledge.
You're saying you think Hans Christian Andersen spoke to a real mermaid?
That's my best guess. He wouldn't be the first or the last to do so. But Andersen wrote stories, not poetry, and Aurora did say the charm was given to a poet.
So we're looking for poems about mermaids. I think there's a poem by Goethe about a fisherman who meets a mermaid. I found that one for a paper I did on reading mermaids through a Marxist lens.
Oh, quite useful. I believe I've read that poem too, but it was years ago. Let me see. Yes, there's a translation in this collection.
It's one of the few poems I could find with a mermaid addressing a human being in her own words. Isn't that exactly what we're looking for?
Maybe, but the words would be translated from the mermaid's tongue into Goethe's German and then into English for us. And who's to know which English translation, if any, would have the power of the original?
It might not even be that. There's been tons of stuff written about mermaids. Think about even the weirdly misogynistic folk songs like the Eddystone Light or the Great Big Sea one.
The one that Great Big Sea recorded isn't actually a traditional song. It was written in the 60s by Shel Silverstein. Fascinating character in his own right and most likely not fully human.
Sorry, what?
No time for that story now. Anyway, In that song, the mermaid speaks to the sailor, but only to invite him to come live in the sea with her. I think it's unlikely those are the words of the charm. Nor do I think the spell we're looking for is "the devil take the keeper of the Eddystone light." However, in the Goethe poem...
She's basically asking the fishermen to stop catching fish. She calls them her children and let them swim freely.
So it's plausible that it could be used as a charm to free trapped mermaids and let them swim freely again.
Maybe, but it's a long shot.
My dear, you'd be surprised at how much of this work is a long shot. Let's each take a couple of these books with us when we leave this evening, and in the morning, we'll meet up with Mr. Carson and have our best shot at setting a mermaid free.
Good morning. Any brilliant inspirations about mermaids strike you overnight?
Sadly, no, but I'm happy to report I got a call after supper from Ms. Party. She says the changeling cure worked. It vanished on revealing its true identity, and when she called me, little Bambi was back to her normal self and asleep in her mother's arms.
Oh wow, that's really great to hear.
What about you? Any discoveries or inspirations since we left yesterday?
Not exactly, although I loved reading all your notes about the Fogo mermaid. The more I thought about all the connections between mermaids and fishermen, the more I think the Goethe poem is probably our best bet. I've got 2 English translations saved on my phone, as well as the original German, although I don't know what good that'll do us.
I can give it a try, though my German is a bit rusty. I think I see Mr. Carson's pickup truck pulling up outside. So, where is this place again? I thought the chocolate company was still up there on Duckworth Street.
No, they moved out of there years ago. Remember, they've got a place in the mall now, but this is their main shop here on Torbay Road, just up there by the Big Shoppers Drug Mart.
Oh, where Zellers used to be.
I thought that was out on Stavanger.
No, before that. We used to call this the Zellers Mall, and my goodness, you're right. The mermaid statue.
Painted up to look like she's made of chocolate. Sure, I remember that from when it was downtown.
I always thought it looked delicious. When I was little, I wanted to take a bite out of her and see if she was really chocolate.
Fiberglass, I'd guess. The substance hard as stone that Aurora talked about. If we're lucky and the charm works, I assume she won't be painted to look like a chocolate bar by the time we get her back to Quidi Vidi. Now, how close to the mermaid can you park?
Right here. It's not that busy yet.
Hopefully nobody coming in and out of Shoppers is looking over this way while we heist the mermaid.
So strange. Touching her, she feels just like a fiberglass sculpture. Yet there might be a living mermaid trapped inside this form. Well, I suppose all we can do is try the charm. I think the best bet is the oldest English translation, though I'll give a shot at the German if that doesn't work. Essie, would you try reading it?
Me? But aren't you the one with, like, powers or whatever you have?
No powers, my dear. All I have is a lifetime of knowledge, something anyone can accumulate after years in a library. You've been sent to the library to learn, and the only way to learn is by doing.
All right, here goes. You can do this, Essie. Just breathe. Everything's fine. Oh, couldst thou know how gladly dart the fish across the sea, thou wouldst descend e'en as thou art, and truly happy be. Do not the sun and moon with grace their forms in ocean lave, shines not with twofold charms their face when rising from the wave. The deep, deep heavens then lure thee not, the moist yet radiant blue, not thine own form to tempt thy lot, midst this eternal dew?
Who wakes me from my sleep? What is this place? Where are the waves?
Greetings, Ursula, Lady of the Sea. We have come to set you free from an enchantment and bring you back to the ocean.
Who are you? Where am I? What happened to me?
Oh, the painted colors faded off her, just like you thought it would.
Please don't be afraid. We're here to help you.
Touch me not.
We can't get you out of here if you don't let us touch you.
Yours is the voice that woke me from the spell.
Yes, and mine is the voice telling you that if you want to get back to the sea, you have to let us carry you. Now! Before anyone looks over here. That's right, we're not hurting you.
You ladies take her arms. Now I get the fishtail.
This is an outrage to be treated like a shark hauled into a fisherman's boat.
You've been treated worse than that, but we'll have time for explanations later.
The ladies in the Subaru are giving us nasty looks.
Unhand me, creatures of the land.
What, drop you in the parking lot? Come on now. On 3. 1, 2, 3, heave! That's salt water, that is. Don't thrash around now. Stay still and stay low. I'm afraid she's gonna try to fling herself out of there.
I'll ride in the back with her, right?
Good thinking. She seems a little more trusting of you since you were the one to break the spell.
Just want you to know I've never ridden in the back of an open pickup truck before.
Hold on to the truck bed and to the mermaid.
All right, this is going to take 3 of us again.
Let me take the tail. I think she's more sensitive about that.
How dare you lay your hands on me, land creatures?
I'm sorry. We're very literally trying to save you here, you know.
Keep your voice down. There's people in these houses. I don't need no one seeing us at this and asking questions.
Though I'm sure if they do, we can come up with some explanation.
The water. Take me to the ocean.
Literally what we're doing right at this very minute.
Now you just watch yourself, miss. We're going to lower you down right off the wharf here into the water. I suppose you remember how to swim.
Behold, you have brought my sister back from captivity.
Yes, just as we promised.
Have a care, Ursula. It has been too long since you were last in these waters, but I will bear you in my arms until you can swim again.
Am I truly safe? Safe in the ocean, away from these terrible creatures of the land. Can I go below the waves?
You can, and you will. And these creatures are not our enemies. They came at my bidding to set you free.
They are of the same breed, nasty land-bound creatures stumbling about on their awkward legs of theirs.
So we must seem to you, Queens of the Deep, but we mean you only good, no harm, and I hope that in time you will forgive our people for the wrong that one of us did to you.
We have ever kept apart from your people, and will be even more sure to do so now. But my sisters are all united again, and for that, I will give you the promised reward. What do you desire?
Oh, no, we need no...
Information.
What?
In return for our service, please tell us the name of this enchanter who took you all prisoner.
Do you really think we should...
Listen, if it's our job to help the city and everyone and everything in it, and someone is running around with enough evil power to turn mermaids to fiberglass statues, I don't think we should ignore that.
I do not know his name, but I know he is a powerful lord both in your world and in the realms unseen, a master of the worlds, infernal and avernal, an enemy of sea creatures and air creatures, a mighty destroyer. And I know that his home is here, in the city by the sea where he took us captive. I can sense his power. He dwells here still, and his power has grown greater.
Can you tell us anything?
Ask me no more. I will tarry no longer in your airy realm, but must take my sister below, where the rest of our people wait to welcome her home.
Yes, take me from this foul place.
Foul place? That's a bit harsh for Quidi Vidi.
Mr. Carson, we cannot thank you enough for your help with this.
Always happy to find out more about anything strange goes on around here, Miss McGregor. Did you make out a bit of sense out of anything she told you about that evil magician, like?
It all seemed very vague, but one bit tickles my memory and I can't quite place it. She said he was master of the worlds, infernal and avernal. I feel like I've heard that word somewhere recently. Avernal.
What does it mean?
It really just means the same as infernal. Things to do with hell, with the realms of evil. It feels like a bit of rhyming repetition just for effect, but...
Avernal developments.
Of course. The name of the company doing the demolition next to Fiona's house, whose machinery was attacked by the fairies?
And whose truck was parked on my street when a fairy got into my house, like sending a warning. I mean, it could just be a coincidence.
There aren't as many coincidences as you might think.
She's a sharp one, this new apprentice of yours.
Associate librarian, not apprentice.
Right, of course. Apprentice was what she used to call...
Anyway, we must be going. No, we don't need a ride, thanks. It's a lovely day. I think we'll walk back to the library, won't we, Essie? Terra Arcana is written and produced by Emma Cole and Trudy Morgan Cole. It's directed by Emma Cole, with production and sound design and original music performed, composed, and/or arranged by Chris Cole. Recording was done at Bad Times Club Studios in St. John's, Newfoundland. In this episode, you heard Emma Cole as Essie Clark, Trudy Morgan Cole as Kate McGregor, Alison Manning as Liz Pardy, David Hallett as Mr. Carson, Julianne Meany as Aurora, and Nicole Gouju as Ursula. Terra Arcana is entirely a work of fiction, and any real locations are used for purely fictional purposes. Listeners who live in St. John's may be aware that there is no longer a mermaid statue outside the Newfoundland Chocolate Company, and we can assure you that we had nothing to do with that. The creators of Terra Arcana would like to emphasize that we do not support the theft of public art, unless you can be entirely sure that you're breaking a magical curse. Terra Arcana will return in May with Episode 3.